Why SpaceX might be the next big thing. SpaceX priced its Nasdaq debut at $135 a share in June, raising $75 billion and landing an initial valuation of about $1.77 trillion. That's a big number for a company most people still picture as a rocket business. But rockets are just the base layer now. In the space of about 6 months, SpaceX merged with an AI company, went public at a $1 trillion-plus valuation, signed multi-billion-dollar compute deals with 2 of the biggest names in AI, and broke ground on what could be the largest factory ever built. Here's the full picture. 1. A space exploration company with a massive business scope. Starship is built to make heavy-lift orbital work and eventual Mars missions routine rather than a special occasion, and Falcon 9 already handles the bulk of the world's commercial launches. Launch and other space-related work brought in around $4 billion last year on top of Starlink and the new AI segment. The rockets are the foundation everything else depends on: the satellites, the orbital data centers, the whole expansion into computing. None of it happens without a cheap, reliable way to get mass into orbit, and nobody launches at SpaceX's cadence right now. 2. Terafab, an AI chip powerhouse bigger than anything that exists. In August, SpaceX and Tesla confirmed Terafab, a chip manufacturing complex in Grimes, Texas, with Intel signed on for fabrication and packaging. The scale is staggering: over 100 million square feet of manufacturing space, described as the largest building on Earth, with an initial investment of $16.8 billion that could climb as high as $119 billion. It's a vertically integrated fab, combining logic, memory, and advanced packaging under one roof, producing chips for Tesla's Optimus robots and Cybercabs on one side and high-power chips for SpaceX's orbital data centers on the other. The bigger goal is chip independence. Musk has said directly that outside suppliers have become a bottleneck, and Terafab is the answer. A domestic megafab built to reduce America's reliance on chip manufacturing concentrated overseas, particularly in Taiwan. Small batch production is targeted for later this year, with volume production in 2027. If it lands on schedule, it becomes a serious new pillar of the U.S. chip supply chain almost overnight. 3. Starlink, the next telecom giant. Starlink crossed roughly 12 million subscribers by June, up from 10 million just 4 months earlier, and connectivity revenue hit $11.4 billion in 2025, the first time a satellite internet business has cleared $10 billion in a year. It's also SpaceX's most consistently profitable segment. Growth isn't limited to rural households anymore either. Maritime and aviation customers pay significantly more per connection, direct-to-cell partnerships are extending coverage into dead zones, and the service now reaches more than 150 countries and territories. With more than 10,000 satellites in orbit, Starlink's constellation now accounts for roughly 2/3 of everything operating in low Earth orbit. That's a scale no legacy telecom or broadband provider can match, and it's the piece of this story that's already fully proven itself. 4. A genuine compute powerhouse. In February, SpaceX acquired xAI in an all-stock merger, folding Grok, the X platform, and xAI's Colossus data centers into the company. Within months, SpaceX started renting out spare computer capacity to outside customers. Anthropic signed a deal worth roughly $1.25 billion a month through 2029 for access to SpaceX's Colossus 1 facility. Google followed with its own deal worth $920 million a month for access to about 110,000 NVIDIA GPUs. Together, those 2 contracts alone are worth more than SpaceX's entire 2025 revenue from Starlink, launch, and AI combined. That's an entirely new, high-margin business line, built almost overnight out of infrastructure the company already owned. Tesla adds another leg to the compute and energy story. Its Megapack and Powerwall battery storage business deployed 46.7 gigawatt-hours in 2025, up 48% year-over-year, and storage now drives close to a quarter of Tesla's total gross profit. the biggest battery storage manufacturing operation tied to the Musk ecosystem, and a critical piece of infrastructure as AI data centers push grid demand higher. 5. xAI and Grok, cheap, fast, and closing the gap. xAI built Grok around a truth-seeking positioning from day one, aiming to be a more direct, less filtered alternative to other chatbots. The bigger story now is cost and capability. Grok 4.5, released in July, runs at $2 per million input tokens and $6 per million output tokens, against $5 and $25 for Claude Opus 5, a fraction of the price. On agentic coding benchmarks like CursorBench and SWEbench Pro, Grok has closed the gap to near parity with Opus while completing tasks at a much lower cost per run, a genuinely useful edge for teams running high-volume coding agents where token bills add up fast. Growth has followed the same trajectory. Grok went from around 35 million monthly active users in December 2025 to roughly 117 million by March 2026, more than triple in 3 months, driven largely by deep integration with X. Token consumption and enterprise usage have scaled right alongside it, as xAI's infrastructure and pricing make Grok an increasingly hard option to ignore for cost-conscious teams. The bottom line: rockets, satellites, chips, computers, batteries, and a fast-improving AI model, all under one expanding umbrella. That combination is what makes the next big thing case for SpaceX. It's no longer a bet on one business, it's a bet on an entire stack that increasingly builds and supplies itself. This isn't financial advice, just an overview of where things stand as of mid-August 2026, worth digging into SpaceX's own filings if you're considering anything more than reading about it.